Do you want to be in the video? Do you want to be involved? Yeah, you want to be in the video? Do ya? You want to say hello to the people? Oh, you got eye buggies. Come here, you got eye buggies. Yeah, okay. There you go. You eat them. You eat your eye buggies. There you go. Yeah. You're a tired boy now, aren't you? You're a good boy. You're a booty, aren't you? Hello lovely, thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video I'm going to be continuing on with my makeup collection series. This is a much shorter video today and the last couple have been quite long, as most of my videos usually are. I do love to talk about makeup and I'm a bit of a mess. I have no organisation or script or anything planned out. I just go with the flow with my videos, and hopefully that comes across and it's a bit more like real. But today again, as I say, is face palettes. I don't have a huge amount of face palettes, but I do have more than enough. We're going to be going through all that I have. I'll be doing little mini reviews on the things, picking my top 5 and sort of doing a little bit of an inventory. These aren't declutter videos. If there is anything that I come across as I'm going through that I just decide that I don't want to keep anymore, then I will, you know, declutter it, but I'm not really looking to declutter anything currently out of my collection at the moment. I'm more into using what I have, getting to know my collection and loving on the products that are already there. If you like this kind of content, if you like makeup and looking into different people's makeup collections, if you like shop my stash content, a bit of project panning, just general real life, no professional setup, no script, like I say, just a girl who loves makeup sitting in front of her phone with her dog behind the camera panting in the heat, then I would love to have you subscribe, join my little gathering coven of makeup witches. Please do subscribe, like, leave me a comment, and without further ado, let's have a look at my face palettes. Okay, so I may only get face palettes done today, so we'll see how we get on. As usual, working completely in natural lighting, and face palettes I absolutely love. I really do love buying and trying face palettes, but they are the one area of my makeup collection, and I don't think I'm alone in this. When I see other people's like collection videos, face palettes really do get neglected by me for sure. I have some absolutely beautiful ones here, and whenever I look at them I think, why don't I use these more? I definitely have some favourites. What I consider face palettes are anything with more than one pan in, essentially. I do have the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Foil highlighters, the ones that have like the split 2 pans. Those I just consider my highlights, because they're like both the same product, if you know what I mean. Whereas the Patrick Tar duos, I've got like a cream product and a powder product, so I consider those face palettes. It's just the way I've got it organised in my in beauty inventory app. So what I'll do is lay some of these out in the specific categories and we'll start having a look at them. Okay, so I'm starting off with my smaller palettes, and obviously you can see I have quite a few Patrick Tar ones. My first Patrick Tar palettes were purchased for me Christmas, not Christmas just gone, but the Christmas before. I still haven't used the blush duo that was bought for me that Christmas, but I since purchased 5 more cheap duos, and I haven't used any of them yet, which is absolutely disgusting. But the colours in these really do speak to me. So we'll start off with the one I have used. This is the bronzing duo, and I've got the lightest one in the shade She's Statuesque. If I could have my time again, I would have gone a shade up, because this cream is very sheer and buildable, and I do find I really do have to build it to get it to show up, and I am, as you can see, very fair skinned. The powder shows up better. Again, it is a very sheer formula, you know, nice and buildable. I have got my eye on another shade of this because I really do like the formula, and I just think it's really handy to have the two together. And then the blush duo that I got for Christmas when I got that one, is She's Baked. And this is a beautiful, like, rich rosewood colour. Like I say, I haven't used any of the blush ones, unfortunately, yet. Then I've got the shade She's Vibrant. These are my most recent ones, which is a beautiful, like, almost neon coral. Then we have She's a Doll, which is a lovely, vibrant pink. This one is more of like a warm toned pink. Then we've got She's Blushing, which is a lovely nude. Again, it's like a bronzy, like a rosy bronze. But the one in She's Baked has a lot more red in it than this one. This is just going to be beautiful for any look, you know, it's that tone that will go with absolutely everything. And then I've got the blue toned pinks. So I've got She's Giving, which is super vibrant, really beautiful. And then the shade Just Enough, which is a lovely pale cool pink. The blush is very glowy in this one. It's almost like a highlighter. So really need to get some use on those. And then this is one that I actually decluttered many years ago to my mom, and she hasn't touched it once since I decluttered it to her. And as you can see, I have used this quite a lot. I'm almost hitting pan in the highlight and the bronzer, and I thought I might as well just take it back and try and hit pan on it, because it is a beautiful product. I've used it quite a few times since I've had it back. The highlight and the bronzer are definitely my favourite. This highlight is so incredibly blinding, but it's got no like chunky glitter or anything in it. It's really smooth, really flattering, and the bronzer is stunning. I wish I could get this bronzer in like its own pan. They did several of these, several different shades of these. This one is the shade Naked. But yeah, I just want to see if I can hit pan in this, and it seemed a shame to leave it languishing in my mum's collection. And then one that I use a lot is the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. This is the perfect pale skin friendly contour bronze and highlight. I can use this even though it is more of a cool toned, like, sculpting shade. I can sort of bronze up my face with this. It's so beautiful, and I've used this so many times, but it looks like I've barely touched it. You know, most of the imprint is still there. I think this is a great purchase, really good value for money. And the highlight again is so flattering. It doesn't highlight texture, you know, too much. I mean, any highlight is going to highlight skin texture, you know, skin is skin, but this, there's no chunks of glitter in it, no sparkles, it's just a glow. And the shade is like that universal champagne gold, but light gold. It's not like too yellow, so I love this one. And then I have my Dior Backstage highlighting quad. I've got mine in the shade rose gold, and I love this. It is one that I keep for special occasions, which is, I'm really trying to get out of that habit and stop doing that. But this is a baked gelée formula. It's again super flattering. Some of these are more glittery than others, but they're just beautiful. Really elegant formula, which you would expect from Dior. And then I have this little Makeup Forever trio that I actually put together myself. I've had this a very long time, but it is one of my favourite makeup items within my collection. It's got two blushes, a matte one and a glowy one. Even the matte one is more of like a satin finish, and then a really beautiful pinky toned highlighter. And these powders are stunning quality. Makeup Forever is a brand that I really do trust. You know, it's a makeup artist, professional brand, and I think these are stunning formula. And this is like quite weighty as well. It feels like really good quality. I would definitely, you know, do this again with other shades. I think these are now available on Look Fantastic, which is nice, which makes it a little bit easier for you to get hold of them. But yeah, these are beautiful. Okay, and now I have trios and my two little Natasha Denona palettes. So starting with the Cosmic Beauty, this is the Frosting Highlighter Trio, and this has three like iridescent colourful highlighters in. This is a very like bam in your face kind of formula. It's definitely a look. I wore this shade on Christmas Day for Christmas dinner. It's a really beautiful formula, very smooth, very creamy, but it is like shimmer heavy, so it isn't like undetectable on the skin, but really beautiful formula. I do really love the Cosmic Beauty products. Then my favourites are probably my Pat McGrath trios. These are the they were like a Christmas edition, and I picked them up during a Black Friday sale. All of my Pat McGrath products I've purchased during one of her like mega sales. I would never pay full price for any of her stuff, but these made me fall in love with the blushes and highlighters from Pat McGrath. So this one is the shade Galactic Sun, and includes Divine Rose, Desert Orchid and Golden Nectar. The blushes are just probably one of my absolute favourite powder blush formulas, and the highlighters are also absolutely stunning. They're very sophisticated, very smooth and creamy, and they look really beautiful. I love these. This is probably the shade that I've used the most, and I love Divine Rose as well. These are just like, they go with absolutely everything. They're really stunning. And then I've also got Amber Allure, which is slightly deeper, but still works perfectly fine on my fair complexion. We've got Love Struck, Paradise Venus and Venus Nectar. I really did want to pick up some more of the trios when they did like the Bridgerton collection, but you know, I'm quite happy with what I've got. This looks way darker on camera than it is in person. I've worn all three of these, can get away with them. They're absolutely stunning. This highlighter is absolutely out of this world. It's got like a peachy sheen to it, really stunning. The only thing I have noticed with Pat McGrath blushes, I noticed it when I just opened that one, mine do smell. They work perfectly fine. The texture of them hasn't changed or anything like that. They've just got a strange smell to them. I'm not sure if it's the glue that's holding the pan in place or what, but they have kind of they smell like my Kosas bronzer does. It's almost like cat urine, which sounds absolutely horrendous, but like I say, the formula, nothing's changed with the formula. It's just a scent that I don't notice when I put them on my face. Just when I open the component, I can smell it then. Sorry if there was a bit of interference, just I touched my mic without realising. Um, so then I have my Ofra Feeling Myself highlighter palette. This has got 3 of the most famous shades. Obviously you can see which is my favourite. So you've got Blissful, Pillow Talk and Rodeo Drive. Ofra highlighters they definitely had their day. And I think we have moved away from that incredibly blinding metallic sort of stripe, but I can't quite part with these, and I've kept 2 of the full size ones. My mum had all my others off me. She's a highlighter fiend. But I much prefer a more subtle glow these days. I prefer like the Pat McGrath formula than the Ofra formula. But if I'm honest, I more than likely will wear a cream over a powder highlighter these days. But I just can't seem to part with these because they're just such classics. And then we have my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Trio. This was another one that I decluttered to my mum. She never touched it, so I took it back. You've got like your finishing powders, and then these are like, this is more like a highlight, and this one is more like a bronzer topper. Doesn't look like it on the camera or in person, but on my skin it is quite warm and golden, so it looks nice sort of over where I've put my bronzer. But I've been trying to hit pan in this and get a lot more use out of it, and you can see I'm definitely favouring this one. But yeah, really nice formula. I just don't know whether I would pay the price for a full size one of the powders. And then my Natasha Denona palette. So I've got the Natasha Denona Bronze Cheek. This is my absolute favourite. I have 2 of these. I have one here and one at the caravan. I absolutely love this. I got it on a real big discount. You've got like the cream highlighter here. Then you've got this one is actually called Blush, and it does have like a pinky rosy tone to it. Then you've got this gorgeous like bronzy like bronzer topper, and then this like warm tone champagne highlight. These are absolutely stunning. And then we've got my Bloom Face Glow palette. Again, I got this one on a super discount. I haven't used this one as much. So you've got like your cream colour base, your cream blush, and then the 2 highlights. Like this one is much thicker and more pigmented and would probably work better as like a blush topper. But yeah, these are really nice. This formula's really unique. It's like it reminds me a little bit of the Rose Inc cream blushes, super pigmented, and very emollient, but when you look at the pan it looks as though it's going to be really dry. These ones are a much drier formula than this formula. And then finally we have my larger face palettes. So I'm going to start with this one. This is my Inglot face palette, and contains 4 of the HD sculpting powders. You've got a pressed powder here, a blusher and a highlighter. These sculpting powders are my absolute favourite like contour powders. I absolutely love them. This powder has a radiance to it. It is stunning under the eyes. It's the most softest velvety kind of pressed powder I've ever experienced. Very soft, as you can see. You only have to touch it and it sort of like gets an indent. This blusher has quite a lot of shimmer in it, so it's not one that I reach for that often, but I do really like having this sort of palette all together. It stays in my everyday makeup drawer and I use it constantly. Inglot does not get near enough hype. They are an incredible brand, but unfortunately they are now incredibly hard to get hold of in the UK. I think they've got 1 or 2 stores in London, but the website is closed down in the UK and it's just really difficult to get hold of, which is such a shame because I highly rate their face powders and their eyeshadows. They're amazing. Then we have my Lethal Cosmetics face palette. This is one obviously I put together myself, and in here I have a cool toned like contour bronzing product and then 3 blushes. I haven't used these too much simply for the fact that I picked shades that were unusual, different from what I have in my collection. And the reason I don't have them in my collection is because I don't really wear them that often. The contour is very grey, very cool toned, so perfect if you are fair on the more cool toned side. But I do like a bit more of a rosy tone. This is bordering on grey. Definitely going to pull these out in the autumn time and get a bit more use on them then. I have used them, just not as much as I should have done. Then we have some relics. We've got my 2 Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit. This is the classic. This is sun dipped and it's one that I hold on to and I just can't seem to part with because I think these are really beautiful highlights, especially this one, Moonstone, is my absolute favourite. But I'll sort of like mix them all. I like wearing these over my bronzer, or I'll mix them together to like lighten them up. I just think it's a really nice formula. It is that classic 2016 highlight, but with the right brush and the right application, it can be a more softer, more delicate sort of highlight experience. And I just, like I say, they're just products that I just can't seem to part with. Same with the Nicole Guerrero kit. This was my jam. I absolutely loved this thing. This is much more of a like a glittery highlight, so definitely not my preference these days, but I just can't part with this. This was the first iteration of this as well. They since redid it, like brought it back because of popular demand, but this is from when it was first released. And I just love it. I love this shade, Forever Young, and these 2 here, Glow Getter and 143. In fact, I love all of them. Forever Lit is the one that I use the least, but I can't part with it, even though it's old enough to probably attend high school. I just can't part with it. I love it too much. I suppose it's a bit sentimental for me because it reminds me of that era in makeup that I really found my passion for makeup and started finding myself a bit more and discovering more about myself through makeup and like playing with my own face, you know, and getting to know my own face and in turn getting to know myself a bit better. So it harkens back to that time and I just can't let it go. And then these 3 are purchases from this year. These are all vintage purchases. They're all limited edition NARS palettes. This one is the only one I've actually used so far, but I have used this over 15 times since I had it, and with a collection my size, that is saying something. This is probably one of my favourite purchases from the whole year. This powder formula from NARS is just incredibly beautiful. It's a baked gelée formula. All of these were brand new and untouched in the boxes when I got them, and you can see I've started to wear away some of the embossing. This one is the shade that I've used the most. The highlighter is stunning. It's blinding, but it's that formula that is so smooth and flattering on the skin. It's absolutely beautiful. I also love these like more bronzy shades. This one especially is beautiful if I want something really neutral. And yeah, this has been an absolute winner of a purchase for me, and I think it cost me like £15 or something like that. And then I have that one, by the way, was the High Profile cheek palette. This one is the Exposed, and I just love this packaging. I think it's so beautiful. Again, we've got the Baked Gelée formula, really stunning, same sort of concept, really gorgeous powder formula. And then this is a more recent one. I think this might have been Christmas either this year or the year before. This is the All That Glitters palette, and again it is a baked gelée formula, but you've got some more like unique shades in this, like this pink duochrome highlighter and this red blush. Really beautiful, really excited to get to know these two as much as the other one, the first one I talked about. And if we are talking top 5, it is definitely got to be these. So my Inglot face palette, probably my most used one out of my whole collection. As you can see, I've hit pan and I'm close to hitting pan on some of the other shades in here. I just love this thing. Really wish that I could get access to more products to sort of fill it out a little bit more, but yeah, love this one. My Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow, again, absolutely love this one. Real great purchase for me, and one that I would recommend highly to anybody. Then the it's not a shade thing, I love the formula of these Pat McGrath trios, so both of them would be in the top 5. Then my Natasha Denona Bronze Cheek palette. I think the fact that I have 2 of these shows you how much I love this. It was one that I bought because it was on a heavy discount and blew me away. It really shocked me how much I love this one. So while it was on such a massive discount, I picked up another one. And then this NARS High Profile cheek palette. I'm sure I'm going to love the other ones just as much, but the fact that I've used this so often and still want to keep reaching for it when I've got all these other beautiful ones just goes to show how this one has impressed me. So that is my top 5, and we'll do a count now. Okay, so in total I have 25 face palettes. Okay, so when I did my face palettes, I unfortunately completely forgot my Made by Mitchell face palettes. These, you will have seen in another video, I've got a big Made by Mitchell satchel bag that I keep all of my Made by Mitchell stuff together. And I completely forgot about my Made by Mitchell face palettes when I did that other collection. So I'll just go through these briefly now, and we'll add them to the final count. So for like traditional face palettes, I have the Blushed Bronzed book, which is the Bronzed Motel, and this is a collection of 12 different bronzer shades. There's a really great variety in here, from the lightest to you know, nice and deep. Obviously these deeper tones I can't use on my face, but they're really beautiful to use on the eyes. This is such a great sort of all round, you know, you could use this on the face and the eyes and just have it all in one place. I really do like all of the ones on this side, and I have used coffee beans as well on my face, and Honestly Warm, and they do work for me with light hand. The Mitchell powder formula is incredibly pigmented, but it does blend. You know, it's not the easiest to blend because of that super intense rich pigment, but the liquids and creams from Mitchell are definitely my favorite formula, but I do really like these. And all of these face palettes from Mitchell I got on a huge discount on TikTok shop when he had said that he was discontinuing them, so I definitely didn't even pay half price for these. It was like less than half price. Then I've got his 2 blush books. This is the first one that he released, and this has again 12 beautiful powder blushes. I really love the variety of undertones in here. I love this shade 90s Nude and Terracotta 2s, and then you've got these beautiful pink tones, lavender tones. You know, it's such a nice variety, like I say, and to have everything in one place. I find the blush formula a little bit easier to work with than the bronzers. Neither of them are difficult to work with, but they are that, like, you put them on your cheek and sometimes if you're not careful it will sort of stay in one place. Then this is the second blush book that he did, the I've Got a Blush on You, and again 12 beautiful shades. I love the variety in here. I love this side of the palette actually. You know, these unusual sort of like marigold yellows and oranges. There is a variety of formulas in these and the bronzer one. Some are super matte and then some have got like a slight sheen to them, or like little specks of shimmer. Obviously this shade here, Beetroot Smoothie, would perhaps be a bit too dark for me to use on my face, but I could use it on my eyes. They work perfectly fine as eyeshadows. Then I have a mini blush book. This was from his winter collection. This is the Le Blush Ski blush book, and it has 4 little blushes in here. I absolutely love all the shades of these. This one, Seeing Pink especially, is really beautiful, easy to wear with kind of every look. These are really cute. I love this size. You know, this is perfect, like a perfect travel palette. You know, you've got your 4 different blush shades and you're good to go. Then we have cream face palettes. Now, if I had remembered to include these in my original face palette collection, I would have put these in the top 5. I absolutely love these. Out of all that is here, these are my absolute favourite. He's recently brought out 2 new shades, one called Lightest and one called Deepest, and I really do want to pick up the lightest one as well. These are so incredibly easy to work with. They're so blendable that even shades that are too deep for my very fair skin work absolutely fine because they blend so seamlessly into the skin. So the first one that I got was the light curve case, and this has got a beautiful range of blush, bronze and blush blush shades. They are shades from his line, like Strawberry Cream, Cold Heart. You know, they are shades that you can get in the liquid blushes. But these are so lovely and they blended so easily that I decided to pick up the medium curve case, and these deeper tones work absolutely beautiful. I've actually got quite a bit of use out of the bronzers in here. Even this deepest shade works absolutely fine because the formula is just so beautiful and easy to work with. So they would have definitely made the top 5 if I'd remembered. And then 3 that are sort of a bit of an outlier. These aren't traditional face palettes, but they are makeup palettes in that they're a multi-use product. It's a makeup pigment that's sort of in like a solid cream form that you have to sort of break the surface to and warm it up to turn it into like a cream, or you can add like his liquid mixing medium, which turns it into like a paint. Now again, these two I bought. This I got in a mystery bag. These two I actually bought to use as liners and brow colours, but if I was to have my time again, I probably wouldn't have picked these ones up because I just never reach for them. I have my brow products, I have my liners already. I like my pencils and things like that, but I have used this particular one. So I got the Essentials colour case, which has your browns and lighter skin tones. You can use these as concealers, mix them into foundations to alter the colour. And then I got these deeper ones. I wanted these to use as liners and to make like custom brow colours. It's a very unusual formula, like it is quite solid in the pan, but once you break the surface and warm it up, it does turn into a very thick, very pigmented cream. These are like pure pigment. You only need the smallest amount. And then I got the Energetics, which is like a grey scale, and I wanted this to help with liners and obviously to alter the tones for my brows. I haven't actually used this one yet, but I have used the Essentials. They work perfectly fine in the waterline. They last really well. If I was a working makeup artist, I would absolutely get so much more use out of these. These are ideal for that kind of kit, but for me as just a regular makeup user, these don't get much use. But again, these were on TikTok Shop and they were being discontinued and were heavily discounted, so I didn't pay full price. And then I got this one in a mystery bag. This is like a mini colour case of pastel coloured correctors. You can see I use this on my under eyes to sort of like brighten the area, and that's how much I picked up, and it was so much. You only need the teeniest tiniest amount of these because they are so pigmented. Even this little bit was a bit too much when I did it the second time. I've since found some correctors that I like a lot more, the NYX corrector sticks, that are just an easier format than sort of digging out and sort of mixing. But these are great, and like I say, if I was a makeup artist with clients, this would be absolutely perfect. So I've got 25 face palettes, and now I'll just add these. So we've got 27, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So 34 face palettes in total. And if we are doing top 5, I will do the curve case as an honourable mention for the previous top 5. Okay, and that is all of my face palette collection. Like I say, not a huge amount, but definitely more than any one person needs. Let me know if you've got any top favourite face palettes that I don't already have in my collection. As I have said in previous videos, I need more makeup like a hole in the head, but I do love to hear you guys' recommendations. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. My bestie is getting a little bit impatient and wants his mama to himself now. He's just plonked himself on top of my makeup that was all laid out. So yeah, I think it's time for me to go. He's giving me the biggest hint that he possibly can. So thank you so much for watching the video. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you here, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks, lovely. Bye. Say bye, Ray. Say bye.